Well, there we are. Oof, duh. That was a big pain. Sometimes my system, when it updates, flips over, and I don't even know it until we get in. Hello, everyone. Every one of you. We keep it honest here. Keep it absolutely honest. Every one. Sometimes I get one. You know, in the past I've even had two. Speaking of, look up NAS. Look up NAS. 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 Bronier. Bronier? Is it Bronier? Right, and I think it's Celine. Has been on 3 hours. In Discord. Has been in Discord live for 3 hours. Cheers. Now, I think that was a shenanigans run. I think it was a shenanigans run. I missed it because I always miss them. How is it that you can get to where you don't miss them? Where you don't... It's just outside. Where you don't miss these dungeon runs? How do you find them? Well, I'm not going to go on Discord. Oh, might as well. Let's do Discord. Do. Pop Discord up. No. We have the streamer shorts. See right down there. 3 hours. Can you see it? Yeah, it's below my thing. 3 hours, 33 minutes, and 9 seconds. 10 seconds. That's a NAS. It's the NAS Celine Bronier voice chat. Rami got his memes back. Right? Memes are back. And there we go. Did we get our other memes back? No, we did not get them back. This is one of my favorite memes. Oh, come on, you could do it. I'm verifying that I'm human. Wow, that's very interesting. Clippy. No idea. When I'm having a good day, but no one else is. We have a lot of clips. There's some pretty insulting clips in in Discord, like the bird showing you its butt. There's always that. No announcements, nothing new, not that I know of. There's some interesting things. We've just started a trial week. Is your understanding of Pax Dei correct? Is my understanding of Pax Dei correct? Very interesting to ask in this day and age. Is it correct? Do you actually know what you're playing? Do you actually know what you're doing? What does that even mean? There you go. A little bit nicer color. What I'm talking about is, oh my goodness, it's like my cat's fooled with it. Who are you in Pax Dei? What is Pax Dei? Pax Dei is a social simulator sandbox. It's low fantasy. What's the difference between low fantasy and high fantasy? Oh, there's one. Let me see. Rami put this up. I didn't look at it, though it was interesting to me. There. Jericho Riders. Jericho, interesting. Fantasy, low fantasy. High fantasy versus low fantasy. All you need to know. Do I have a dark version of this darn screen? My goodness. I'm just trying to see it. No, I do not seem to have a dark version of that screen. Okay, so fantasy is all this. As a fantasy author is all that. For me, the easiest way, I haven't read this, I'm just scanning it. The easiest way to differentiate between fantasy genres is by looking at where the book is set. This means declaring whether a story is high fantasy or low fantasy. And let's go on, I have a point to this, because you're like, set? Where the book is set? The Book of Pax Dei in this case. In this article, I'll be exploring the difference between the two. We'll be looking at this, and hopefully by the end, yada yada yada. So, high fantasy is a genre, is a fun one to read, okay? Albeit a more convoluted and complicated one to write. The defining aspect of a high fantasy is not that the usually epic story is set to an alternative fictional world, a secondary world full of magical elements. This epic fantasy genre is very much inspired by Greek mythology and Norse mythology, masters of allegorical tales involving scary beasts and valiant heroes. A lot of high fantasy novels are set in a time that is reminiscent of our own medieval world. People travel on horses, drink tankards, ale, fight swords, although that doesn't mean your high fantasy novel has to remain historically accurate. The beauty of writing fantasy is that nothing is stopping you from adding a modern twist to your world. High fantasy. Different characteristics. A fantasy world, a map, a high page count, a challenge or a quest, many characters with unusual names. We have that. This is low fantasy though. Mythical creatures including monsters and other races, plenty of magic, battles and adventure, high stakes, good versus evil, defeating the monster, returning victorious, and engaging plots. And engaging plots with lots of twists and turns. Now, high fantasy, high fantasy, high fantasy. So what's low fantasy? As opposed to high fantasy, low fantasy is set in our primary world. Sometimes low fantasy is referred to as an intrusion fantasy because the magical and fantastical elements in the novel intrude in our real world. Right. Fantasy genres such as urban fantasy, historical fantasy, time slip, dark fantasy, superhero, contemporary fantasy, magical realism, and paranormal fantasy all fall under the category of low fantasy. In these stories, you have fantastical elements such as monsters and characters with magical powers living in the world as we know it, be it the world now or in the past. So 10 characteristics of low fantasy. Low fantasy stories can be a lot of fun to write as you can twist reality as we know it, adding magic to an otherwise normal world. You also don't have to go to the trouble of creating a brand new fantasy setting, as you can base your magic and mayhem in the same world where we all currently live. The defining characteristics of low fantasy include a modern life full of fantasy elements, a magic system hidden in our own world, characters with supernatural elements living a modern life, or past life in this case, normal human characters who may or may not be aware that magic and monsters exist in our world. Unlike high fantasy stories, low fantasy doesn't need epic battles or big quests as the magic in our own world element. It is often intriguing enough for readers without that. Alright, so there's all sorts of examples, low fantasy examples on screen, frequently asked questions, and humma, and the nice Arthur N.J. Simmons, who put this together. So, high fantasy, low fantasy. Very nice. All right. We're in a low fantasy world. They call it a low fantasy. You can search it on Discord. Now, big deal. It is a social. What does that mean? It means the first thing you do when you're online after you check your mail, I'm a homesteader now. I was demoted to homesteader. We're going to find out what that's all about. That's the big deal. Can't access redeeming queue. I'm not on my own property. As always, I'm just getting rid of the highlight. The birds. The blur. The blur in the birds. There's always some kind of texture blur. It is. It comes out. It comes out in the wash. Ah, yes, yes. Whoa. What's Garrett been doing? Is this my own plot? I'm a clan member here. I've been demoted. What does it all mean? Oh, I don't have stairs going down yet. This is a separate piece. I can see. Laying out blueprints. We have a lot of room to spend. You know, I have been getting an extra hot plot with basically saying, here, I will get this extra plot and get it ready for horses. I pray with horses and carriages, this is tall enough. No, it won't be. It won't be tall enough. I will have to change it. Going to be adding doors. Catnap is a serious beginner at this point. A very serious beginner. Well, I had a very serious beginning to this stream. Yes, I let the stream run out, but I had to go out and talk, or excuse me, the intro run out, but I had to go and talk to the gas guys outside and say, you know, well, you don't blow them off. Oh, I got to record a video game. No, I actually, you know, I have a real life. This is one of it. You know, our game makers, our developers, they have a real life too. And they called their real life making games. This is their job. I don't know why everybody has a problem with expecting them to do their job. They said they would make Pax Dei. I still can't access it. You need to be at your plot or Pax Dei. So even if I'm on a plot, I don't have any permissions. Now, I could get a plot. I could do a grace plot. I don't know. Let's get this out of here. I'm mucking around too much. Sorry. So, why? Just keep it cool. Since there's no one on right now. Got to figure that out. Let's go over the Pax Dei and see what I actually have in it. Because it would be nice to know what I'm missing. Can I destroy anything, though? Okay, so I believe it was 36 hours after you've joined whether you can do any mischief. Like you say, well, I don't like this. Huh? What? I don't like this. What? Okay, what's been added recently? I know they've done some work. I can destroy something. I mean, hold it. The roof pieces. This is like the last one put in. Not mine. Not mine. Ooh. And it only has been within 24 hours that I was playing with Garrett and putting these in. Very interesting. Very interesting. Well, I guess a new person could take the weekend off. Don't promote them. Don't promote them. Don't do it. Garrett will be promoting Catnap. Pretty inconvenient to be a homesteader at this point. Do I have permissions? Do I have properties? Can I set something down? What do I have here? I don't have anything to set down. Okay. This is what I want to look at. Clan members, applicants. It doesn't say anything about me. There. Homesteader. Yeah, 12:16 a.m. And so, of course, it has not been 36 hours since she got off this morning. No biography available. I'm gonna have to work on that. Gotta have a bio. Awesome. So, what do we do with our day? Well, I am gonna go over to the Petrome, and we gotta get the charcoal going. As a homesteader joining a clan. Oh my goodness. Someone was asking the other day, what should I do? Should I just go out and join a clan? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, better to join a clan sooner than join a clan later. What? Yes. Very... You won't do it. Time will go by. Whoa. Did I just get kicked off the hill? Did you see that? Is that a bunny surf? Or did I just get booted off the hill? That was amazing. Did I bunny surf or get booted off the hill? That was a heavy. Oh my goodness. I almost went to the darn Petra May just for that. Getting suddenly kicked off a hill. There's an old Fallout video that I have checked out when I saw it. And it's a guy walking along and you see one of the robots. I forgot which one, the one with the glass head. It gets sent across the landscape just while the person's watching. What happened? I don't know. Was it a physics issue? I don't know. But it's a famous old meme. Oh, with this construction, I'm very certain we're having seismic activities here in Alaska that are pretty continuous. So all the animals are crazy. Cats in this case. Oh my goodness, level 6. I gotta get myself a few things. Level 6 wood chopping. Yeah, you could do that in the first few minutes of your Pax Dei adventure. Too hard on you. No. Gonna get that one? There you go. If you can't see the E, just put the axe in your hand and hold that left key down. Some birds over here? There was, I thought. Get some stone. Definitely one of the big problems is storage when you start. As a default character, you only get one case I've seen. There's my rewards. I believe it was Athena. I am going to be finding that out. Because I haven't had two of the same up on different places. The Arcadia test server, the achievements are separate from the live server. But if you are on 2 or more live servers, are you getting grace and gold for both characters? It would seem not. And I would expect not. One of the incidences, I had already earned a bunch of achievements just for standing still when they opened them up on Arcadia. The big deal with that is they found out that people who had an account like I do on the Arcadia test server were also being credited achievements and rewards on the live server. They didn't want this. And I'm glad they didn't. Because Arcadia is quite separate from the live servers. It's a totally different account. Your tokens don't go. Things like that. What I'm saying is, they are separate and isolated accounts. Many of you might not know that. Some people are surprised to say, hold it, if I go to Arcadia, I start all over again. Well, Arcadia is a different build. Very often, Most often, it is a different build and therefore a different place. If you were in the dungeons in Arcadia, grinding up your character, well, you're pretty much alone. So there are some who say, well, on the live server, I'm already maxed out. Let me just bring that over to Arcadia and I'll test the glitches. No, you won't. You're alone. I mean, what glitch are you going to test? OP'd out. You can't craft anything to see a result, except the, they're just the common results. Oh, darn it. Wrong way. Hey. The stereo works fine. It really does. Q. Ah, bad timing. I'm so much slower as the beginner catnap. Get up those. We were talking about who you are and what's the point. Pax Dei is great, except for one thing. Mainframe, who I call the Divine, well, I did have a quick question with Altari and said, okay, what's the Divine, what's not? This is extended outwards, taking up more space, yet he was here. He was here. Did they leave their thing up on top of the hill? Maybe not. Maybe that's a good place to be, if he did. Because I have the opportunity to get some grace property very soon. It's much more difficult for Catnap to get grace property. I have to log in, earn it, be diligent. I have not logged in that much. When's the last time? So that's today, and it doesn't have the last. Maybe last Thursday. You can't expect to hold a grace plot on that. If I logged in every day, since I do have the bonus program until August 16th, then it's all over for me. I'm back down to basics. Garatina, because she has subscribed with this full release. I want a fresh stack of food. Fresh stacks. Yes, fresh stacks. Now, hopefully, I can get characters up to a level to join up in the big dungeon affairs. You can go through dungeons with smaller amounts of people. In fact, joining dungeon runs, you might meet people who could help you form those smaller groups. Is it easy to get through a dungeon with smaller groups? Well, there are different types. And people who know more about dungeons would know that. Me, I have not been in dungeons since verse 1. And dungeons weren't separate places in verse 1. Dungeons were places that you entered a hole, through the mountain, like we have up here. Oh, I broke it. Breaking the axe. Oh, the pick, excuse me. Breaking the pick. That's the first pick I've broken in this play of Catnap. That's nice. Oh, darn it. It won't repair just one. Real bummer. It won't repair just one. So I don't get the joy of breaking the other. That's a bummer. Why does it matter? Immersion. It's low fantasy. Now you'll notice on the thumbnail for the last show, it was Billy without a face. Yes, Billy, right before my eyes, suffered the loss of face. I'm not sure exactly how we get our heads to disappear. Off with our heads. Should have finished the axe. These guys gone? No. Did they salvage their place? Oh, hold on. Do they set? Nope, it's still red. Now look, I do not take anybody else's stuff. I don't. Oh, what, you're too good for that? Yes, I'm too good for that. Not into it. Never into saying, oh, there's stuff, let's watch that. I don't need anybody else's stuff. Another said, oh, we can't just walk up and take people's stuff when their plot expires. Well, while it's red, you can. I thought that once it wasn't red anymore, it was just returning to the earth. You know what I mean? Returning to the earth. And therefore, I'm going to get mugged by pigs pretty soon. I better grab some food. See basket floating. Maybe they'll make it back. Maybe they said no. Maybe they said no. They saw my place rising up there and that place, and they're like, I don't feel like I can't even see across the mountain anymore. I'm like, forget it. Forget it, these big castle builders. I try to watch it. I try to do nape of the earth building. There goes the pheasants. It used to be different in verse 1. I try to put myself in the head of someone starting Pax Dei for the first time. And all of us should consider that. You know, everybody wants things in Pax Dei that aren't there. I want you to know that there are many things that we had in verse 1 that aren't here now. And none of those have been reintroduced. And we really expect them to be. They were there. Mainframe put them right in front of us. The ways we could do things. Stacking different armor values. Things we can't do now. They were all there. But then they removed them. There was more variety. The pre-alpha had apparently more variety. I didn't get a chance to play it. Just the first week of verse 1 and on. And even within the first week, there are people who were pretty much maxed out. So the 7-day trial isn't to me a joke. Because in verse 1, to gain levels, that was work. It was stupid amounts of work. You think you're walking by abandoned places here? Or anywhere you are? These places, you might say, I have not seen a person. Ladies and gentlemen, in verse 1, there were 5 to 6 times as many structures damn near abandoned, if not totally. We had over 150 to 160,000 purchasers. 150,000 of them do not play Pax Dei today. Is it because Pax Dei isn't like other MMOs? Or is it because Pax Dei didn't become the MMO mainframe said it would be? Well, that's what you get when you propose a game based on a game engine you don't have in your hands yet. 5.7. Pax Dei, I say, completely was proposed for 5.7. In fact, in verse 1, we have the water on. Well, what do you mean they're using 5.7's engine? No. Those engines are interesting as they move forward. And while I haven't downloaded each and every one and gone through its features, no, there's no point in that. In fact, to get anywhere and to really build anything worth anything, you have to buy plugins. You need to buy assets. I've seen jokers get on there and say, look, I made a game with Unreal Engine. No, they didn't. They just made a thing inside Unreal Engine. Second Life was a simulation inside a game engine. We were working inside the game engine. Now, we didn't see that explicitly introduced until 5.5 and with the Fortnite game engine. FNUR. The Fortnite Unreal Engine. I got 4 over here. Better watch myself. What that introduced just a couple weeks ago to us, we skipped right over it and went to 5.6. 5.4, I think, was the highest you saw on live, though the messaging from mainframe was a little bit confusing right there. We had one person posting things that said 5.5, and we had another person posting things that said 5.4. Not my issue, theirs. Really, I don't write this stuff. So, but we all came out the end a couple weeks ago now. I don't know, has it been longer? Maybe a month? No. A couple weeks where we're on 5.6. Well, I'll tell you, they ought to be working toward 5.7, but they said they are not. With 5.7, these trees go from what they are now to a nanite up close. Nanite means it's just made out of very small prims. You can look that up. 5.7, the rest of them do it. Whatever. But voxel, 5.7 lets distant trees way out there, those ones way out there. Right now, they're being produced as accurately as these behind me. But with Unreal Engine 5.7, they will indistinguishable from these, they will be voxel trees. And what are voxels? Voxels are going to be super good versions of the Minecraft trees. Voxel is just cubes. Were the things made up of cubes. Once that happens, once they buy new trees, they are saying that these trees right here cannot move forward. They're made in a way that's not compatible with 5.7's nanite voxel level of detail over distance and terrain. It's just the way it is. So they got to make new ones. You know what they should be doing right now? Making new ones. One of the first biggest problems with Pax Dei is that they set the trees, I don't know what they said actually. At first I thought they set the trees so you couldn't get rid of the forests. You couldn't wipe out the forests. If you put a plot there, what I'm saying is the trees would grow back, but if you put a plot there, you'd be in the forest. And you put a plot down, and the trees where you wanted your little place would disappear. Shrubbery, bushes, resources, these all disappear, but not the shrubs that we can't pick. Things we can pick disappear. Flax, which we can pick, disappears. Roads do not disappear. We can't even build on them, for the most part, although you just see me do it. They got rid of a lot of terrain options, that's for sure. Why am I going up here? Because I'm curious. Curiosity killed the catnap. Yes, hawthorn. These are good. Got to get some stuff up here. Just make sure they're available. Big tower. Why do I play so close to myself? Because that's just a little bit realer. There's some rye up here. Scrublands, we get into goatiness, and that's what I'm looking at. No, I don't really want to be out here. It's very dangerous for a young catnap. Those aren't even resources. Are they? They're not even resources. Interesting. Sometimes you just keep building, you know? Little Winchester Mystery House action. Oh, the ghosts! The ghosts are coming to get me! Oh. This is actually one of the barest looking scrublands I have seen. This is like the classic scrubland. It is. Tolosa has an old design. Right. Oh, what a bummer. I mean, really boring. I'll have to come up here and look around closer. But this is like... It doesn't even look like there's anything out here that would be desirable. Besides the crunch of dry grass. And running through heather. Or not heather, but Scotch broom. Great for hawthorns up here, though. And you'll find out what that's all about if you don't already. Like, they're like, look, me, and I've got this. Yeah, you wonder why one person has a huge plot there. Why would they have another, right? Skullflux, right? That must be a real nice person. Man, there are some names I'm glad I see early. Because I'm not into them. You know, I do pray when Mainframe gives us the chance to update our names. There was a little bit of a hint. There's some limestone. Very nice. Something I'm going to need soon. Nice to have it just around. Some rocks and stones up here, which we were looking for. Yes, I'm running around without any buffs whatsoever. What a stud. Now, if you don't carry anything on you, you have a room. You have room. You have a room for a lot more stuff. I do need some of these. Got to build a couple of those. I've neglected that. Which is no good. You fall behind on the bee stuff. You're like, what is it for? Well, you go through a lot of honey for the meads. Oh, darn it. I don't have room for that down there. You go through a lot of honey for the meads. And so you're gonna want some of that around. Right. What a meaningless. That was meaningless, but here we go. So, as we were saying before, misconceptions about Pax Dei. It's a low fantasy social simulator sandbox. Not high fantasy. Everybody runs around in super glowing armor and stuff like that. That's not it. Well, it's a bummer for a lot of people, apparently. They want that high fantasy. They don't want to be themselves. They don't want to think about who they are. You know, that stuff is ridiculous. So Pax Dei immediately becomes, hey, why don't we get on Discord? And there's not that many people there, but quite a few. Quite a few. More than you think. If you're not participating in it, fine. If you don't like the way Pax Dei is going, well, actually, there's so few people who listen to this. If you don't know where Pax Dei is going, that's your own thing. I had a person the other day where I was like, Pax Dei, you know, a social sandbox, low fantasy simulator. You know, that's what it is. I said, but the consumer base says no. We want a high fantasy. We want no social. We want NPCs to talk to, not people. If there are people who want to be scribes, I think the words F these people. I want to be a scribe. If you're thinking that, you're a loser. I mean, really? I want to join a game and become a little accountant where people have to come to me to get things because there's a rule. Anybody hearing what I'm saying? They want to be a scribe where someone has to bring things to them so they can sell it. They don't want to do any work. They want to have a job where the game says they exist. And therefore they're a rule that no one can get around. So if you want to sell something or market something or anything, send a letter. They say, I want to be a scribe. And you have to use me by the game rules. Well, nothing else is like that. I mean, we don't need a little bunch of Jewish people running around saying, I'm not going to work. I just want to write receipts and count your money. We don't need that in Pax Dei. But it's pretty funny that so many people want to be that. That's what they want to be. This doesn't look like lime anymore. It's not as green. I'm used to seeing it in the pale a lot more. We should have some stone down here. I mean, really, who needs a little mince who's just hanging out? You're like, oh, I can't sell anything unless I go to this person who calls themselves a scribe. Well, I think everybody's going to be a scribe. That's like everybody's a journalist in Gaza. You know? We're all journalists. So I don't understand. It's a big generation gap, I think, is what it is. I actually think, a lot of the modern generation, they don't know it, but they've been stupefied. They don't know what's going on. And they look at Pax Dei, and for 2 years, all you have to do is go back into Discord and look up orange skins. Orange skins. If you remember orange skins, there's King Arthur again. What a joke. But orange skins, oh man. Okay, so certain animals kind of dropped orange skins. Orange skins were used for higher armor, building. Maybe they didn't have padding at the time. I can't quite remember because I wasn't up that high. I wasn't that cool. And not being that cool has consequences. Am I going to chuck anything? I keep the jewels until they're irritating. I mean, I'm only out back, so it's no big deal. Getting the silver's important. A little place there. I know, I'm not even looking at the birds. The peasants. Don't know whose place. Let's see. Maybe it's King Arthur's place. It'd be funny if you're King Arthur running around nude with a pointy stick. Patches. A lot better than skull flex. Yeah, whatever, dude. People who have violent names, they're usually afraid. They're usually little baby people, who get violent names. They have a big name up front. Like, we had 2 guys going at each other the other day. Awful. And bait. They were going on and on about having sex with each other's dead mothers. The chat did not block them. I had the chat block me when I said Myth of Empires was a glitchy hell. I think I put ELL with the hyphen too, just for style points. But I said the cart and wagon tracking were chaos. Simply that. AI blocked me. It was the first time I'd seen AI intervene. But AI said, this sounds too toxic. So it's not even being erased. It's just erased. You can't post it. I really hate that shit. I hate that so much. When you write something that is nothing and then it just erases it. Mainframe's done that. Their moderators have done that in Discord. Erased things. Because they thought, oh, you're just being too silly. They're being silly. They call themselves game makers and they aren't making a fucking game. They're dragging their feet. They're collecting our money and they're not doing what they said they'd do. they're dragging their feet. If you're going to say we want to have a job making a game, you don't just say, well, all these kids say we're game makers, so let's take a vacation. I'm not sure what it is about European vacations. They take time off to smoke cigarettes, much more time than America takes off. I guess that's why we earn enough to send them our army, while they sit there and go, when are you sending your army? Pretty funny for a nation we had to pull out of World War II. Pretty funny that we're buying a game. Pax Dei, it starts off in Iceland and Sweden and rests in Helsinki, a Swedish city in Finland. If you want it to be proven it's Swedish, you go look up the Finnish national anthem. The Finnish never had a national anthem. The story goes by the Swedish, so the Swedish wrote one for them in the Swedish language. And then they put a statue up in the middle of Helsinki with that anthem in the Swedish language. Couldn't do Finnish, could they? No, I don't know if the Finnish were concerned. Maybe the Finnish were too busy trying to make a deal with the Germans in World War II to get back the Ural Mountains. Meanwhile, the Swedish were changing road signs to make sure the Germans can find Norway. They both worked with the Germans in World War II. Now they are lazy people who promised Pax Dei when they knew it was impossible. We can quote them. It's impossible. It's a pipe dream. Well, there's one thing good about pipe dreams. You pretty much don't get anything unless you have a pipe dream. Pipe dreams are how anything happens. See, there's our sitting log. See our sitting log? What, you're saying this is small? This is the sitting log right there. Don't you see it? Don't you see it? Now you'll never be able to unsee it, will you? There's our sitting log. Let me go show you it. This is what kind of advanced that springtime stuff was. We had more stuff when we started. There it is. Look, all grown up. Right? Wait, want me to prove it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Not that one, but close. There you go. A little bit there. There you go. Maybe they trimmed it up a little. Or maybe they flipped it over to get that wood down on the ground, you see? Right? Same dang thing. Look at the splotches. 1, 2, 3. Single splotches in the large back one. La, la, la. Yes, let's work all night. 1, 2, 3 splotches and this back one. But this is the underside, you see. You know, it's just the texture pattern. That's the underside. You can see those 3 legs. 1. And if you set it up in the air, it's easier to see. I've already seen it from the bottom. 2, and the other one just down here. 3. Right? So it's the same log. They just made it bigger, and they gave us a seat. How nice. So you're on a 7-day trial of Pax Dei. Get in chat. Big bad wolf. So this is you see, this is why I couldn't get Johann over here earlier. I had to get Johann. This is the jovial monkey. I don't know if they know that about themselves. Lord Murrock, if you want to meet them on Discord. Sully, a lot of these people might have never heard of. Ninja Game-san. Minty Fuse is Majestic Armadillo. The Knee Deep in Pink, which is kind of funny, depending. There's Willy Billy Silly, who joins me on here. And there's me, Wise Unicorn, no idea. King Arthur is the adorable sparrow. Do they even know that? That's kind of a cool one, isn't it? This is all from yesterday, you'll see. Very persistent. That's something, I don't know. Is that good? If you said something nasty, you're going to see it every day. But why am I not going to the bottom? There you go. All these people who came online since 7 o'clock. There's a couple repeats, aren't they? Harmonious Quokka, Ongst 77, King Arthur there with the Sparrow. We have a couple people who have had to come on twice. That might be Tiger Blue Eyes. Well, they must have chosen it themselves. Vivacious Beagle. I don't want to meet a Vivacious Beagle. Lucky Hare. We gotta be. Willy Billy Silly there. Yaya. That's Shark the Shark. Dr. Do Nothing. The Fantastic Capybara. The Sweet Missy. Prime Maypole. Corb. These are all okay. These are selected names, I think, by Discord. Wolf Spirit is not, right? Wolf Spirit would not be. Yay! So, Telosa and Celine. Bronier. That's Bronyland. My little brony. Bronier. I don't know if he's still on. How you doing, Willie? How do you spell Bronier? I think that's it. Nassan Bronier. Dropping names. Oh, he doesn't know me. I'm not dropping names. I pray you're doing well tonight. I'm mucking around as a homesteader. Kind of limiting. I don't have any land. I had forgotten that. So I'm getting around doing the things I need to do, like getting rid of stuff now. For everybody watching, for everybody who doesn't know, for time memorial, I'm going to say this every darn recording. With the spear and the shield in hand, if you swap to your hammer, I keep my hammer on 7 always through all my characters, just so I make it easier on myself. That gets rid of those. So you can pop them back in and walk inside. Immersion ready. Oh, I gotta really decorate in here, I'll tell you. Stowage. Oh, it's so awful. This is where it comes down, is storage. I think that's nearly my only, oh God, we're here again. Once you have plenty of storage, it becomes, oh God, where did I put it? But that's fine, you have plenty of storage. Why keep gems? These you need in the future. You do use a couple of these for a couple things, but nothing necessary. This still comes up. Oromore? Didn't we have Orum cloth? Or Orum thread? Do we still have Orum cloth and thread? Because that's what I collected over in verse 1. I collected up these for that. Yeah, sure. Why not? Need to get some tin so I can go through my copper. It's locked! Oh, I'm a homesteader! Monkey! I had to find out. I did not want to give myself homesteader. I knew I just totally messed myself up. I know, Catnap. Don't give me a look. Don't judge me. I'm the boss. I know what I'm doing. Kinda. Sorta. Maybe. Yes, basic tools. Basic tools. Don't grab anything better. Where did Garadina put everything? This is all junk. Oh, that's right. She built some armor up last night. Did her first set of armor, which I could do. I made leathers. Did I make linens? You can always tell if you made linens or not. No. They are in another box. I do have to get them up. See, I'm just at the beginning. Level 1. Level 1. Level 1 in linens. Yeah, no, I know how you guys feel. Swords. Gotta get swords up to level 10. That's a big deal. You have to do that. You need to get your heavy armor. All this. You need to get it up to level 10. Why? Because. Not because of that. Because of this. When you start out with the Pilgrim's Breastplate, and we can make one of those really right now. In fact, let's put some stuff away and do that. Why make armor? To prove you can. Locked! Ay, ay, ay. Oh, Garrett, I'm gonna kill myself. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm supposed to stay undead myself. Did I tell you AI can use the word "uicide" while we can't? I thought it was pretty funny. I don't know if, Billy, if you caught the Garrettina flying off the cliff, showing you the new fast travel, the new old fast travel. When I had AI go over that video, it came up with a crappy thumbnail. So I said, no, just get Garrettina, make it accurate. They, of course, it put her at a dress she hasn't seen for many episodes because the AI still remembers all the stuff Google deleted. Really, it brings this old stuff up because I've been talking to it. I'm like, okay, it did it. I was amazed. It doesn't really, because I'm on a different channel, different account, but Google knows it's me. Because it has the same ID. I use the same ID and everything. I'm still me. And so, yeah, it was pretty funny. Yes, I would like to start an account again. All right, you're trustworthy now. You just shut me down. No, you're fine now. Okay, yeah, it's been an hour. Thanks for the bread. 7.3 health regen. That's so serious. I'll tell you what. Scary bread. Of course, Catnap doesn't know where that came from. It's totally a mystery. Oh, I need more storage. Wicker baskets, working up carpentry. You'll just be happy. These little round containers. Make a wall of these. They take up so little space. A little bit, well, half as much as the chest. Well, not half as much. Yeah, well, half as much. Good. Because they did. There used to be a couple little dots over here that weren't covered with our storage chest. So I was thinking that. Time's gone by. Time stands still. Rush. I'm not looking back, but I like to look around me now. Time stands still. Not that I'm into Rush's lead singer. Getty's a little bit liberal for me. But once their drummer went away, if you listen to all the stuff their drummer wrote for Rush, and then you look at all the stuff the lead singer wrote for Rush, you will also notice another thing. When Rush couldn't sell an album, then this drummer came in and started writing music for them, and I forgot his name, but then he passed away. Rush stopped selling albums after he passed away. Kind of tells you what went on there. Somebody had talent. Another guy had a high voice and sung about dragon mysteries. If you go back to that old thing, they were singing all this old medieval Dungeons and Dragons. High fantasy. Swill. Oh, Billy, I'll tell you what. Someone did a great job in Discord of putting up the difference between high and low fantasy. Now, if you go back to where I'm showing off a page, I followed a link by a brave volunteer in Discord, and it described, as I've been describing, this is not a high fantasy game. Most all games, Brave New World, or New World, excuse me, New World, it was pretty brave, and it's gone, right? Very expensive, very gone. Someone was saying today, Pax Day is not the only Pax Day. There will be other Pax Days. Fat chance, buddy. People who make video games want to make ones that people buy. You're not going to see another Pax Dei. Pax Dei was impossible. It's impossible from the get-out. It was impossible from day one. What? What are you saying? What a bunch of foul, filthy foulness. It was impossible from day one. They said it themselves. They said it themselves. Pax Dei only becomes possible as new Unreal engines come out. Mainframe didn't build their own engine. Barely anybody can unless you have a lot of money. Oh, well, if you're RSI, if you're Star Citizen, you could have $1.5 billion and you still have a big wad of trash. Now they have everything everybody wants. They're very much like Myth of Empires. They have one of everything. Everything. But you go nowhere, you do nothing. It's all parallel play. Absolute parallel play. You just walk by each other. You see my underwear? Yeah, I see your underwear. You see my underwear? Yeah. And you got to say nice underwear. Yeah, nice underwear. That's it. That's all you do. You have little jobs. One job, you could be saving the same person that you're about to accept the job to go assassinate for a bounty. There's no point. The only lore is the people who build your ships. And you can buy one of those vessels for several $100s. You know, some are cheap, but you'll know it. Because they're all buggy, incomplete, and they don't work. And you spend hundreds of dollars for them. People have spent thousands, millions. Do you know what a billion is? A billion is 1,000 million dollars. 1,000 times. 1,000 sets of $1 million. That was said terribly. But, I mean, come on. They have $1.5 billion. 1,500 million. Have you heard about Star Citizen? Some people have. Some people's divorces are probably around that game. Oh, here's another one. EVE Online. A lot of our founders, maybe Thor, but Rainier, definitely, was on EVE Online. EVE Online's a spreadsheet game. It took years just to have anything that represented physical gameplay, which it does now. But it ain't Pax Dei. What is it, EVE Dangerous or EVE just silly as heck? We're all here not sure what we're doing, EVE, is what it is. Should I build these now? Yeah, I will in a minute. Let's procrastinate. Glass. I know I put it... Did I put it somewhere over here? It'd be so smart if I did. I still have to go out and get more stuff. This is stuff Garrett grabbed. Man, did I build light gear at all? Wow. Yes, we could do... It's going to be the bronze sheet on hard. This is good. Typically, you would make the basic armor tools and the basic weapon smithing tools. But I don't need that stuff. Problem is, if you don't make these, you're going to be making a bunch of tiny vials to make up for the experience these had waiting for you. Let's show you. We are not high fantasy. We are low fantasy. Poof! Look, you just don't walk up to a little fairy, kick them in the sack, and they cough up whatever you need. We got to make it. You know, low fantasy. And people, they don't want this. People have not wanted Pax Dei. If people wanted Pax Dei, there's 150,000 owners of the base game. Okay, and we're not talking people who bought it for $14.99. We're talking to people like me who bought all the original versions for $70. Founders. We paid $70 and we got to play up to a week before full release. You know, 2 years, a week before, just a little under 2 years. But God, maybe not. You know, anyway, we got to play for free with 4 plots. I played with all my accounts with 4 plots apiece, held a bunch of land, did nothing with it, ran around in circles, and had a great time for 2 years. Because, well, there was less Pax Dei than there is now. In verse 1, there was more. No, not the same Pax Dei we have now. We have more different things now, but there's still basically half of Pax Dei. They put it in the closet back in verse 1. Speaking of in the closet, they have one of those rainbow flag Pax Dei things. Someone told me have a nice day, so I gave them the... Why is the LGBTQ alphabet soup? Why are all the stripes straight? Anyway, so I put one of those there. I love this stuff they let you put. People could look at it and go, what does he mean? Does he mean he's a DEI Paxian? That's that Stinkpot Studios guy. He was putting Pax, but capital DEI. Pax DEI. He wrote that like a bunch of times, advertising himself. Yesterday he advertised himself, hey, welcome to the Discord. This is the place where you can ask questions and talk. And I'm like, well, he is German. That's like Cool K. Cool K was like, hey, if you want to listen to real German music, and I hadn't suggested it, but maybe Cool K doesn't know that listening to German music in America ain't that popular for some reason. Cognitive dissonance munch? I mean, can you... Oh yeah, that's what we Americans do. We chill out and we listen to that old pa. You know, German music sounds just like Mexican music. Really. I mean, really, it does. Go ahead, tune into both. It's all the same bloody thing. I can't do anything about it. Alright, I'm locked out. I'm locked out of everything. Homesteader sucks. Garrett, you've got to promote me, or I ain't doing jack. I can't do jack. Oh, let's go mining. People still want recycling. Lester was on the other day. Lester has been getting on every day going, is there mounts yet? Is there mounts yet? On Discord. Is there mounts yet? Is there mounts yet? Is there mounts yet? He's been doing that every day. I write a little thing up, basically ending it with that mainframe's doing the impossible, folks, but you keep on asking them for things, and they're so stupid, they tell you, yes, we'll do that, or they don't say anything. They really just have to say, no. No. No, we're not going to do that. You know, I mean, people are asking, are we going to have dragons? And someone's like, oh, too bad, we're probably not. How about frogs? Another person, dragons, frogs? That's two totally different sides of the thing. No, you're not going to have either. You're not going to have either. Well, why? Because mainframe's incompetent? What are you saying, Catnap? They're all incompetent? No, we don't have the networking. If you want more people around you, we will have less content in Pax Dei. The less people you have in this giant land, the more... There goes a tree. Did you see that? Did you see that? I love it. This is fidelity. The fact that I could see someone else chopping down a tree and it was just felled down there, that is fidelity. This is insanity. It is impossible at the cutting edge right here in Pax Dei. You're like, they do that in other games. Find it. Find it. Grollo wasn't even sure. He was like, can you see across the server lines in Pax Dei? You could in Second Life, and you can here. That... If you want a world full of content, Pax Dei is going to be run on low by anybody who doesn't have a gold-plated, Galacticus computer, coming to eat planets with Silver Surfer leading the way until he quit. What a slag, I mean, what? Okay, so all the stock companies, they moved to New York. Or Google moved from my Santa Clara Valley. By the way, Discord is in California. You are facing California law when on Discord. That's why it's so left. But, never mind. See this log? Billy, did you see this part? Now it's daylight. You see this log? This is our sitting log. Yay! Do you see how the texture goes sideways? It's because it's stretched. You know why it's stretched? Because it's just this log. Really, I hate to do this to mainframe. I can smash this whole game. If I wanted to get my videos watched, I just could come out and smash them. But I want Pax Dei to exist. Too bad. They're lazy cusses. And that's just not right. They have to stop being the lazy cuss part. Yes, I gotta get wood. Garrett's gotta get in here and do a whole bunch of whacking and everything else. Dang it. Gotta whack him and whack him and whack him. Yeah, the homesteader thing sucks. Well, I'll tell you, if you don't want your stuff stolen, I can open and close cases. I don't want any more rock. I'm nearly at 40 with my Arcadia test server catnap. Nearly at 40. And about half the stuff. And that means I'm running out of any means to show first-time users that. Now Garrett is a little bit at the beginning. She hasn't gotten too far along, so I'll still be able to demonstrate that. Then there's Catnap here working up in Celine. Oh, they forgot one. Oh, you forgot one. This is, they did move. Yep, he was here yesterday. He didn't move around. Can I get rid of it? Is it mine or is it someone else's? No. Okay, I guess I can grab it. Did this just disappear? Okay. Yeah, they were over here. Well, that's good. It was kind of silly having them on this side of the... Well, it's all the same guy. This is the best shrine. Got steps. Telos is old. Telos is an old design. And they changed Lavda because of the water. Yeah, but this is all the big man. Valerius. Oh, and there's a split in the hill. One thing that's interesting is that Valerius, he took his property off the top of the hill up here. Yes. Like my Nape of the Earth building. I like things to seem as if an extension. Well, hold it. Aren't you going to go taller than that? In its way. In its way. The wall, I have to redo the whole walls. It was just to set it down and get boundaries. And I kind of like how it turned out. We'll have Garrett tear it all apart. I'm really working on Garrett as a character. I started Catnap as a new character to try to take, to try to see. I just wanted to see what Mainframe had done as they revamped the crafting system. Now I think they're beyond that. Well, no, they're not beyond it. They got alchemy and they got a few other things they're going to do. Why does it take so long? Probably because they sit around going, let's see how patient they are. Let's see how long we can draw it out. I mean, Americans alone are great because we used to have this thing called the 30-day money. You mail it back, it's the 30-day guarantee. You mail it back, you get your money back. Americans never think about that until the 31st day. It was a guarantee. It worked for years, and it still works, except, people return stuff on Amazon up to a year late. That's how bad it has gotten. So, now Mainframe understands the consumer. We'll put up with it. It's hopium. It's not copium. It's hopium. I had to admit to myself, don't get flax. I had to admit to myself, are we going to do that? From the beginning, that Pax Dei, wasn't a loser. I have plenty of this. Ooh, actually, you need to work on your flax, don't you? Riveting. Orange skins. From day one, they proposed Pax Dei. I already recognized, I'm like, hey, they're proposing a game that Unreal Engine has convention highlights for. Wow, the natural setting, the vast distances, the anchoring system for the armor and body parts, the ability to change colors and styles of what you're wearing. Having that palette adjuster, remember that? Having a quiver you can animate and pull arrows from. Probably not 50 like we have in a stack. Not strong enough. The quiver. What else? The way hair was supposed to move. Interacting with each other. Reaching out and touching another person as if they're physically recognized as being there. What else? Pretty much a lot of their original proposals for being organized and being in markets and alliances and kingdoms, which they put off. That might, most of it is being introduced in 5.7, not 5.6, not the 5.5s, which was the Fortnite Unreal Engine, where they can jump in right there, fall out of the sky, come down on the ground, and drop a building. 76 does this because they're constantly changing servers. If you log into 76 and you have a building right there, and someone else has also put a building right there some other day on another server. Well, when you log in, if you happen to log in to a server where another person has built on the land that you occupy, and you can occupy it free, you just claim it there. There's no plots. You can build a big thing, a big, huge thing. But eventually, logging in and logging off every day, you might, and it is, Blizzard, so they have plenty. When it comes to servers, you'll find someone else there. What happened to your place? Well, if you log out and log in again, most likely you'll be on another server, and there your place will be. Blizzard has their own game engine. Epic makes Unreal. 5.5 just got to the point. And you remember when the buildings collapsed? Back on 5.4, Mainframe was like, we'll replace your building. Don't touch anything. We'll replace it. But if you've gone in and messed with it, it's saved in a different position than where they can go back and get a complete save. And they can go in and just say, they'll swap them. It's not like you'll have one building on another. It's your old building, without the physics issues of the collapse. Black and White had this. Lionsgate, way back when, they had a built game engine where you could go in during play and edit. Was it amazing? No. But you could have other people come to your computer and fight your creature in Black and White, and you could go to theirs online, not a local area network. That was years ago. What, 20? I mean, really. So, 5.7. Oh, did you know we used to have the water on, Billy? We used to have water. It didn't just flow in one direction. Second Life's water flows in one direction. But there's animations you have with your boat. They're connected to your boat. So your boat has the water that splashes along as you're going. Nothing to do with the water there. But our water was on. Was it like we would see in Crimson Desert with the black cube there? Or black box, whatever they called their personal operating system? Is it going to be like Rockstar's water in Redemption, the first one? Or two? Two apparently, they complemented Crimson Desert's water. Well, that is an operating system that they made. Whether they stole Unreal Engine and built over it, I don't know how they do these stupid things. I have a book on how to build an operating system. I had to take a college course. We built small ones, but they were just for air conditioning and heat exchange systems, which already existed. It's basically just to teach us the head cheese part. Were we going to go out and write our own operating systems? No, we were actually going to repair, change, and modify, and not mess up. Because you want things cooling down. You really do. Crunch 211. The K-Dip TV. Is that Deep in Pink? K-Dip TV? So I hope, a lot of these people, maybe they're streaming. That was something very popular with Pax Dei at first, was a lot of streaming. In fact, a lot of people were complaining. I was recording, just quietly, just to see how well it would record. In the early times, Eltari was probably on his 20th episode, maybe. He might have been to a dozen episodes when I first... Well, of course, all my original subscriptions disappeared, and I've had to resubscribe with Epiousios. But yeah, my original Deep plays, I caught Eltari when he was quite early. But of course, I was looking for Pax Dei content when he was first doing it. And I don't think I subscribed to him at first, unkind as that is. But he was doing the one where he's looking down at the map, and he's got this kind of funny posture. No, I did subscribe to him back then. I actually noticed that YouTube will unsubscribe you to things. Riveting. I know, I'm just here blanking about Pax Dei. There's a lot to be said. Does it really matter? No, it's a video game. Well, what about Mainframe? They chose a career making video games. Not a hospital, not a municipality. They don't supply electricity. They don't supply food. They don't supply good advice. They don't do any consulting about any of the values of life whatsoever. In fact, by the way they make a video game, a social video game, they don't seem to really know how to be social either, which is pretty interesting. But I guess if you stare at a computer your whole life, which I decided not to do. I decided to play video games, not make them. I didn't want to stare at a screen. Though you do it playing video games, yes, but then I get up and walk away. And no one's saying, hey, we're paying you to do that. Now you might think, look at this. Oh, some person comes in and slams in a big building. Yeah, it's easy. It's just a wall. And is there a purpose to it? Yeah, what's the purpose? What is our purpose? What is the use of building that? What's the use of building that? That. Nothing there. Well, there's Rola's place, my place. Or anything. What's the point of it all? Well, because you want to. What's the story? Oh, well, there is a story. It's called lore. Where is it? Mainframe doesn't seem to like their lore. They don't even promote it. They do all this stuff, and now it doesn't even exist. Someone said they took Basilisk off the Steam site. Oh, so Rainier finally admitted it? That it's not real. The only thing we have going on in the future of Pax Dei is Holy Wars. That's it. We're going to have the lowest people up against the highest. What do you mean by that, Catnap? What do I mean by that? We have people who call themselves Skullflex. Flux. He's a skull fluxer. I think they're on the other side. I mean, really. That's kind of like as we get long on it here. We have a political party in the U.S. that says we're a big tent party. Big tent party. That means they let in all sorts of ideas. Well, unfortunately, the only other idea they could let in wants to burn them down. That's why I don't go for big tent churches. I don't do big tent belief systems. I don't, I'm not going to invite somebody into my clan who says crazy things, has a crazy, stupid name, runs around getting intentions, screaming that they can't find their pants. That's YouTube stuff. Or anything else. You see him in chat going, oh, what storage should I put my equipment in? What, you want answers? Like yesterday, I put in Discord, I was like, yeah, mainframe, Pax Dei, promoted as a low fantasy, social simulation sandbox. What do people demand in Discord since that very day? We want high fantasy, which is right in the face of what mainframe said, because this is what people are like. They're like, no, you promoted this, but we're going to demand that. And they did, by the thousands. You could read it if you had nothing better to do. Just look up orange skins. Just look up orange skins. You will see every conversation that would ever be had on that Discord during that time. There's nothing new. I think you could walk back and forth between two... there's a sitting log right there. That's our sitting log. They just increased its size. Howdy-ho! Merry Christmas, everybody. It's the Christmas sitting log. That's not brilliant stuff. And I've been positive. Promote it. Say, hey, good job. You increase the size of a log, and in Second Life we put these little balls, and we put scripts in those balls that say you can sit here, or you could change different positions. You could also put height adjustments to move yourself up and down, left or right in that seat, because maybe your character is a different size and you look like you've sunk into the couch. And so right there in that little ball, you can click it and adjust up and down, all sorts of stuff, right there while you're talking to your friends. You are editing in a game engine in Second Life. This weight to your clothing. If I have my skin going through the clothing, which in this case I do not, it looks like they cleaned up the front too. And it looks like they cleaned up the tunic on the chest very well. But even with that tunic right there, where it's in on his chest, I could go in and change the weight of that section just a little bit to see if I could get it to pop out. Instead of holding tight, since that's not going to work, getting it to pop out. Now, when it comes to different size bodies and everything else, you have to set the clothes up to expand, to scale. And if they slip through, you can adjust them a little. Some things you can't. If there's too much, taken in at the waist, or the ankles of the pants are too tapered, there's things that just come with the material. You can't add any more than that's there. Like a JPEG image. You can't zoom a JPEG image. It all turns to cubes. There's no more information there. It's set. It's not like a raw image. And most likely, if you do zoom in on a JPEG successfully, it was reduced in size as you saw it. But you can't add more information. Well, it can't make it up. People think AI can make up frames. That's not happening. AI is actually totally a false thing. It's just a library reference system. There's no artificial intelligence. It's people in India and Madagascar telling pictures what to do. I had this discussion with AI the other day. I've had it with Grok. Elon Musk follows me on X. He must follow thousands of people. But I actually need to start making him regret he did that. And why does he follow me? Well, I told him, you better praise the Lord, because if the Lord didn't bless you, you wouldn't be fit to build a latrine, And I told him he better praise the Lord, because there's a whole bunch of people who work for him that built everything. I've been watching Elon Musk since the beginning, except that he went into the stock market, right? He went into the stock market and went public, and everybody said, oh, you're rich, and he was getting kudos on X. And I was like, look, I don't care if it's Osbergers or not, This guy better pull his head out of his ass because the country trusted him with a whole bunch of money, and he thinks he's the guy in charge. Or so that's what people were saying of him. And that's what the devil does. The devil comes in and says, oh, you're great, you're wonderful, and has all these people. And so, unlike everybody else there, and you can look me up on Elon's chat, Christ Cat now. I said, you better praise the Lord. I mean, really. And I don't think he doesn't. You know, it just has to be plain. There was another guy there who said MMOs are dead. The age of MMOs is dead. The age of MMOs hasn't even started. So to say it's dead is ridiculous. We have arena games and co-ops and some sloppy stuff of parallel play. Because, yeah, massively multiplayer online really doesn't have much of a definition left and right of that. Well, what are you doing as a massively multiplayer? Are you really massive? Or are you just a bunch of fat people in one place? You know, what is it? And so people have developed a criteria where they think, okay, massively multiplayer means you're walking into a loud arcade or casino. That's what people believe Pax Dei is, and they believe most games are. They're casinos. Gamble, gamble, gamble. Well, we need a free way to gamble. Casinos thought of that too. Casinos have. They'll set you up. You know, you can go in there and act. Things are free. They'll give you tokens. Sitting at the machines gets other people to sit at the machines. You know, they look back and forth at each other and think, I'm doing better than you. But they're not together. They are totally apart in a very narcissistic projecting experience. That's what most games are. They're casinos. People want Pax Dei to be a casino. They want to come in here and they want to look left and look right and say, okay, what do I got? And is it for free? It's all bullshit. Can Mainframe make money by people playing for free? Okay, we don't have advertisement. I'm really not sure how investors will get a return just by Pax Dei being here. Really, is Mainframe that DEI? I mean, do they think that all developers have equity? That they are all... They don't use equality. Equality means equal opportunity. Equity means we're all the same already. I'm as equal with you, Billy. Anything you can do, I can do equally. I don't care how long you spent learning how to do it. I don't care if it's your own personal thing. I can look at that and say, that's me too. That's narcissism. Did you know 25% of the population of the Earth is pathological? It only takes, well, less than 25% of a population to bring down a nation. It only takes a few people in government to bring down a nation. It does, well, a weak nation. We have a nation of checks and balances, and we also tote guns, kind of. But I'm a botanist. Got that Flax Botany Award. It's the silver one. Yes, yes. It is amazing. It is amazing. Yes, mainframes back themselves into a little bit of a corner. They're tired, and they can't even get to what they said 2.5 years ago by the time next October rolls around. They make a video game for a living. Oh, well, where else would I go? Are you gonna rage quit Pax Dei? If I was that kind of a person, I would have left this game a long time ago. But I'm not. I know that all the other games suck. They do. Name one. Who wants to play Star Citizen? Really? Even watching the YouTubers that record Star Citizen, you can hear their teeth creak together. It's awful. It's stupid. I mean, when I watch Star Citizen, I might as well be playing Empyrean. At the beginning of playing Empyrean, which was 7 years ago. I stopped playing 2 years ago. So I guess that's 7 years ago total. Star Citizen was new during the 3 years before. And it got full release now, doesn't it? Everything. No, it's just a big pile. They just keep dogpiling more and more onto it. Did you know Windows 11 is Windows NT? They've just been piling onto it. This is how everything works. Until Pax Dei has been around for 10 years. And they've just piled things onto it. Frogs, dragons, ways to worship satanic gods. Oh well. That's what's bringing them down. The main problem with mainframe is they might be a little bit more atheist than I first figured them for. And maybe they don't have any moral guidelines. Maybe they don't have any traditional values. Maybe they don't have any work ethic. Maybe they don't get up and go to work. In Finland, I think they work 6-hour days. I don't know if mainframe works 6-hour days, but business in Finland is 6-hour days. That's it. Get to work by 10, leave by 4. And I guess they play the game at home. They do, because they tell us all the time, we can't repeat that glitch on our build. And they have a build. It's beautiful. They built their own little cities, their own little towns, just a few of them. They built the game they wanted, the little game they can play. It's enough for me. But they never finished what they wanted. Now, Dano said it. When I mentioned 5.7 and getting rid of trees, and how that would be the place you need to get to. Before taking that 3-month cigarette break, that's the place you need to get to. Dano said, and he's Canadian, so here's Canada in a nutshell, there's a million other issues before that we, Dan is saying of everybody, want. Trees don't even matter. I could look up all the times anybody has said the opposite. And I didn't care. I was one of the first people to say it was a feature, among others who were first to say, that's a joke, it's not a feature, it's a big pain in the ass. But you can build other places. The thing is, someone wants to build next to you, well, you avoided the trees. Now anybody who wants to build next to you, because they're your friend, they got the trees that you built around. So, it's a continuous thing. Why can't those just disappear when you put a plot down while you're waiting for 5.7? Dano says there's a million other things. Yeah, people actually are, a bit psychotic. They have stacked a million wants on mainframe. Well, thousands. That mainframe has no intention of undressing. They might go, yeah, that's cool. Frogs, dragons, yeah, cod pieces, yay, whatever. Girls' clothes for boys and boys' clothes for girls. Yeah, they're the ones who put DEI in the name. So that's not my problem. They could have put Deus. They could have put Deus, because Dia doesn't have to be it. All translations are God, and they decided to mess with that. Not my fault. They decided to propose a game that they cannot complete until they get to 5.7 Unreal Engine. Not my fault. They told tons of people online, 150,000 of them, everything you say has equity. It's equal. We need to honor all your requests. No, you don't. You did that to your kids. Your kids are a tosser, man. Well, these are game makers. Yeah, so they're making toys. So who do they think their crowd's going to be? People who want toys. Are we getting through? Are we getting through? I mean, I don't know. If anybody out there thinks they're a professional consumer of Pax... I'm sorry, Altari. A professional consumer. I mean, if you seriously said, Altari, I'm like you. I'm a professional consumer. Not like these other... He's going to laugh at you. Because I don't, Altari doesn't mean, okay, if he does, he does. But he'd have to be the one to say it. But I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He does not mean that he thinks consuming Pax Dei is a profession, or it can be considered professional. I would just, I don't know what I'd do if he looked at me and said, no, I think I am a professional consumer. Well, if he makes money, if you can earn a living off doing something, I guess you could be a professional consumer. But no one else is. You are a professional consumer of YouTube content. If you watch Altari, you're not helping Pax Dei at all. There's another one. If you do pay on Steam, a percentage of that goes to Steam. Right now with Unreal Engine not having a population in Pax Dei, I seriously doubt if Mainframe has to pay any royalties to them. I don't think they do, because they do not have enough of a population. Once you get up to a certain level of sales, then they start charging you. Well, they might just say, screw it, well, shoot, you've been sitting at at a half a year with 800 to 1,000 people, we're going to charge you something. Well, I doubt that. But they moved to 5.7, it's the same thing. It's free. Yes, the plugins cost money, the assets cost money. You build them yourself or you make them yourself. Or Bob's your uncle. You're not going to, you got to pay for it. If they paid for a bunch of things, pay for new trees. Why not? Pay for new trees. Move to 5.7. Stop with the all C++ing in 6, or get to wherever you need to go so that Blueprint doesn't mess you up anymore, and get all that linear code. Get those little fingers, man. Sorry about carpal tunnel. You should have thought about that in your career. When I volunteered for the U.S. military, no draft or anything like that, I went infantry. 11 Bravo. Leather personnel carriers. They moved me to something else after all sorts of rigorous testing and training. I went on to, I don't know about better things. Definitely ran out of friends fast. Military intelligence, the cops. But yeah, I didn't have any friends. I walked this road alone. All right. Anyway, that kind of sucked. I'd rather had all the camaraderie. Been in an infantry unit, been in a platoon, or a squad myself, a platoon of 4 squads. That'd have been great. Maybe gotten into tanks, not artillery. I could skip artillery. I don't want to be deaf. We got a bore back down here. Now you might be like, well, okay, we've been watching you, Billy. If you put up with me for this, what is it? Oh my goodness, 2 hours. You've seen everything a person does, starting Pax Dei. You gather stones. You gather wood. You gather flax. That's a good start. You go out and get ores. You go out and get metal. You go out and get everything else. That's why I say, none of that. I can show you that. What you should do, right? I mean, no one answered me. Good day, Tolosa and Celine, Nas and Brunier. No one answers you. A lot of these people who play are quiet. Hashina. Celestial Unicorn must be a family relation, right? This is how the Christ catnap thing worked. There's lots of catnaps in Second Life. We had an association. I started it. I was like, all the catnaps should know each other. And they agreed. And we had a whole, I think we had come on. There's only so many catnaps. I think we had 20 some odd people. I'm trying to say 27 because I wanted it to be close to 30. But at the end, yeah, I think it was just 27 different catnaps. Lindsay, who was in Germany, I'd get with her all the time. And she was on Second Life on a laptop. And they didn't have performance laptops back then. Hit 7, it all disappears. Wonderful. I am locked out of everything, so I'm absolutely useless. That's why I'm running around, really. Because I'm locked out of everything. I'm a homesteader. I need Garrett to promote me. Or do I get what do I get? Does something open up in 36 hours? Is that how it works? And that's what I want to see. And that's what they said. I just haven't seen. Isn't it what they said? They should be like them. I don't know. Let's go smoke cigarettes. Yeah, mainframe ticks me off. You know, they're not succeeding. They haven't built a success. They haven't gotten 10,000 people to play their game. That's a problem. It's an MMO. Does it bug me? I'm going to say it does. Well, I invest. Other people invest. People invest in ways that make me look like I invest nothing. It's totally nothing. So I'm not saying that. Yeah, I had to put wood over here. So I don't have storage. It's Garrett's fault. I have room over there. Imperion did the same thing. Talon, who's now changed his name to an effeminate one, but I really don't know what's going on there. Which kind of makes sense. If that's what they were thinking the whole time, I can see why they never finished Imperion worth of crap. But other people jumped in on it. Raven, an outsider. I forgot where Raven was. He might be in Germany. Listening to German music, probably American music. We had a couple German things. Well, we had Falco. He died when he was 40, head-on collision against a bus down in South America. That was sad. But he, what was that group? Don't turn around, Ja, the commissar's in town, right? He was on that. That was another rare German group, German song that stayed that way. It was not translated. So there's two successes. Two. Since World War II. Dang it. Oh, it's just too much. Isn't it just too damn real? One white duck on your wall. So fly away, Peter, and fly away, Paul. All right. I know, riveting. It's been a fun run. If they don't make it, it's not our faults. We supported it. I burned a whole lot of bridges. Just for fun. It was fun to get into the whole social thing. And, you know what? Fight. Fight! Fight for a game! A game! Fight to play together. Well, nobody wants to play together. Eltar did a video on that. I've done 1,000 videos on that. Well, actually, I only had 300 videos, but pretty much everyone said we don't like to play together. And it's true. We don't. People just want to round and say, look at my boobs. Look at my butt. That's all they want. They really don't care. They don't want to think about you. They'll be polite. Like, oh yeah, you look nice. How do I look? That's it. Oh, you got a nice house. Sure. No, your house is crap. And so's theirs. But you're going to compliment each other. It's shallow. That's all they are. And Americans are interesting. Oh no, here I go. That's like we're talking about the soccer fans coming over here and looking at our gas stations and burger shops and Waffle Houses. You know, all places the police go at 2 o'clock in the morning to arrest people who are causing mayhem. They say, oh, look at this, look at this. And I hear people saying, oh, it's because they thought America was junk. And now they're seeing America's great. Well, yeah, America actually is more developed than most all countries. It cost millions of dollars to do, and we all went to work to pay for it. The future doesn't want to go to work and pay for it, but that's another thing. What can we do about that? What can we do about that? Well, you kill them all. No kidding. But they'll do that themselves, unfortunately. We live in dog-eat-dog world. They might not have noticed that. It's very good to start noticing when you live in a dog-eat-dog world. Well, if you were a socialist, they would own everything, and you'd be a dog waiting to be eaten. Okay, that's it. I have no idea what people's confusion is. Yeah, let's get socialist so I can get stuff. No, they get your stuff, and they distribute to you what they think you should have. I just don't even get it. Nobody wants this. Nobody wants it. And so anyway, there's only 6 of them. Then 12. Then 24. Then 240. I was watching, last thing, then I'm going to go. And I thank you for joining me, Billy. Amy Klobuchar was the head of the Appropriations Committee. They had Haig Seth and the good general, Raisin Kane, General Kane, and a couple others there trying to explain. That's the way that you explain to me why you want money. Well, the military gets paid, and we need money to run the military. And we are doing this little war thing. And so they go through all this stuff, calling them liars and all that sort of thing. The normal Senate hearings or committees. But the vice chair, who is a Democrat, that's just the way it is. Klobuchar is Republican, I believe. But anyway, whatever they are. The vice chair wants to put in a final word. And so she decides to tell Haig Seth and the general how, coming here and wasting our time asking for money. And I was like, elected official, what? And Klobuchar corrects her. Says, I need to correct my vice chair. This is our job. They aren't wasting our time here coming and asking for money. This is our duty. It's our job. And I was like, thank you, Amy. Thank you, Amy. Don't get too old. Don't get too old, Amy. All right. It's been real. Catnap. You can only do so much. You got to run around. I'm doing an hour each day. Billy puts up with me. I don't think I'm on at the right time for Athena over in Britain with the 9-hour difference. I haven't caught Flo. Old school gaming. Osgold. I haven't seen him in a while. He was getting just pretty lonely and tired with the game. There are people who play online for different reasons. Sometimes it's camaraderie. They don't care about the game. They don't care about the functions. They really just want the social aspect. They just want to banter in chat. Things like that. Well, hopefully Pax Dei becomes that. Really. It's not going to be because Mainframe did it. Pax Dei is here because people are playing it. It's not because Mainframe's doing anything. Yeah, they did this. Most of this stuff is default Unreal Engine stuff. Let's just knock that right out. Most of it's default. Default. The wood, the original wood we had. I don't think they created that. If they did, cool. That's awesome. They should have done better. Really, why not? Why not? It's been forever. They should do better. Come up that 3-month smoke break. Stop thinking about the Ural Mountains. The Russians aren't going to give them back. And, Sweden, you should apologize to Norway for messing with the road signs to make sure the Nazis could get there. And yes, the Finland sided with the Nazi army to take the Urals. So they're the same people they were back then. Little forest people is what Sweden calls them. Sweden thinks they're taming the Finnish. That's quote unquote from the Swedish. That's why Helsinki is the most liberal city in the world. Putin, nasty bugger he is, offers people to get out of Helsinki free citizenship. You just come to the Soviet Union and claim you want out of that liberal hell. This is a straight offer from Putin. Not that you should take it. I'd rather go to... Well, Norway's communist now, isn't it? I had a buddy in Norway. We used to talk online with Imperion. He watched the whole place go down. I talked to him for a few years. Oh well. Ah, well. Think global. Think. Know that most of the world lives in a garbage dump compared to you and I. There are whole populations in garbage dumps. They live, they exist. They're a caste system. Caste system. Very nasty caste systems. Oh, you're that family? You'll never be anything more than that. Period. You go to school, you can do whatever you want. That's equity. That's equity. Equity is a caste system. Watch it. Do we want that here? Pax Dei. Remember REI? REI. Why did REI fail? REI failed because it was a place anybody could get anything for any outdoor activity. Why doesn't Cabela's fail? Why doesn't Bassmasters fail? Why do most other sporting goods places not fail? Because they pick a niche, or they set up seasonally for their area. REI, I went there for telemarketing stuff when I was a kid, cross country, but not on a track, backpacking stuff, solo mountain things, when I was young. I still have the uni bag where you could put your, I'll bring it out sometime. You could lay in the snow with this bloody thing with your fine sleeping bag, and it's just a single sack that's totally protects you. You don't have to put up a tent. That was theirs. I used to go to Antelope Packs. They were handmade in Cupertino, California. I have 2 old packs by them. They're very old. They're from my childhood, early teens. But that was Antelope Packs. I watched them make my backpack, which I had an external frame, and then later I had an internal frame made by them. So it was a whole different world back then. You couldn't just get what you wanted. You needed to adapt to what was made, and they made things that worked. Not things that you wanted. They made things that worked. So mainframe's got to pull their head out of their butts. That's what they need to do. And it's too bad. They're not getting paid much compared to game makers. I hope they're like Elon Musk, who could spend years with Family Fortune or other things before he himself became a success after Obama paid him something like $85 billion in 2008 to get SpaceX going. Remember that? So you paid for it. You paid for Elon Musk. And that's the things I remind him about. And Elon Musk decided to follow me on X. Probably so he could put a freaking terrorist strike on my ass. Anyway, but we're going to get rid of this bugger. No, I don't take it as a point of pride. I take it as a point of curiosity, I'll tell you that. See if you can get followed by some heavy hitters. Most people don't understand me in Discord. That's not my problem. I can't do anything about the literacy issues and the comprehension issues of people today. So anyway, here we are at it's 2:11:06. Bill, I know, I find it so cathartic to get on YouTube and talk about Pax Dei and talk about all the evil things people are doing. You know what's evil? How often the texture repeats on these walls. I can only flip these pieces over so many times. All our walls come from a texture atlas. It's just a huge sheet. And this is a section. Well, I flip my wall pieces. As you can tell, I flip them back and forth to get the least amount of repetition as possible. Because it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. Fine young candles. Like no one else. Oh, I gotta put another pillar there. It drives me crazy. See, look, they match. That line matches right there. See the line? Right on Catnap's back. Across his shoulders. That line. 1, 2, 3, 4 stories. Nearly. Now the top one is a flip, but they're very close to the same. But you can see the line there. You're like, we can't see anything. Yes, you can. I can. You can see that line. It drives me crazy. Why can't we just have a little variation? I have done so much with repetitive textures. Anyway, that's it. That's it. Billy, I'm very glad if you put up with this, he probably disappeared a long time ago. I'm sneaking out the back, Jack. Make a new plan, Stan. No need to be coy, Roy. Just listen to me. Hop on the bus, Gus. No need to discuss muss. Just drop off the key, Lee, and set yourself free. Right? There's many ways to play your Pax Day. May the Lord bless you. And Lord bless you. No more games. Remain in light. Keep your sticks on the ice. Come on, Catnap. Let's get out of here. Thanks, Billy. End broadcast. Yes.